holy land, in a holy land, in a holy land, in a holy land. All the way down the pass and say, la 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 la, in a holy land, in a holy land, in a holy land, in a holy land. In a holy land, in a holy land.
Ooh, that one was the wrong intro, but well, happy Thursday. So today I'm rocking again the long purple mermaid. I know I should take care about her and I should restyle them, but they make me feel fabulous, and that's the important thing. So maybe tomorrow. It just seems like I don't have time for that. So let me say my hellos. Hello to Misha Rowe, and we already have the conversation in the chat. Hello, Sue. Hi, Moika. Hello, Sabine. And hi, Nama. So, Misha had a really good idea about making, because last week we had a craft along that was one of the prizes from Anniversary Hub, and it went so cool. We spent basically whole day together. I had a short break for the Polish event, but except for that, we were sitting creating, and it was so much fun. So much fun, and there is an idea of doing like finish something you had started. Oh well, we all know that I have a bunch of those. So I was expecting Blue. Blue didn't come yet. I'm still waiting because I'm waiting for the blue hair and for a couple of new hair sets, and oh my god, I can't wait. To be fair, I can't wait. I know that it's in theory crafty channel, but oh my god, I'm so digging the wig vibe and the wig stuff. So I can't wait until they come, and each one of them will take a couple of days to make sure that it fits me, especially that I have a small head, large hands, small head. Not fair at all, not very feminine. Hello. Nunu, what are you doing here? You have thing to do. Go do your thing. We will just talk about shit that will be not, useful for you and for your purpose. Yeah, so anyway, today I would like to talk for a while about finding your inner voice. So it's a hard topic. When I'm looking that way, I'm looking at the comments. You didn't send me the link. Yes, I did, Bella. Oh my god. Oh no, I'm such a horrible friend. To justify my horrible behavior, I just want to tell you guys that I already started that evening with a couple of drinks, so it might get south, it might get north, it might get weird, and now I cannot find Belinda on my friends list. Why? Did you unfriend me after one small sleep with? Oh yeah, here it is. Oh no, I didn't send you. It's still sitting and wait on the waiting to be sent. Yeah, so basically about finding your inner voice. So I don't think that I found mine yet. Last live stream, I started with the clip of Terry and Bella chatting about inner voice. By the way, Terry, Dream with Butterfly. Just check her out on YouTube. She put up the super cool video today with the butterfly card. How fitting to her name. And I'm so excited for her YouTube journey because she had a really cool perspective, and her conversation with Belinda in Stamperia sparked something in me. And I'm Patreon for Finneba and a couple other artists, not maybe necessarily crafty related, but I follow a couple of people who sew stuff with thread and needle. I know my pronunciation sucks, but I'm trying my best. So I'm following multiple artists, and if you are not a Patreon for Finneba, I would strongly recommend. It's such a cool community, and you had such a nice payoff for your money. And extra videos and super fun hangouts and live streams. I'm usually catching up with stuff later on, but I really enjoy, especially the talk ones when she just talk a lot about how to. I really enjoyed the one about basically finding your inner voice. And I learned a lot of it from it. And I even did an artwork. Okay, guys, hold on. I will show you. So I still didn't make the pictures, but my artwork is ready since weeks. So basically, the whole conversation was still like an artist. That means it was about withdrawing the inspiration, not copying other people, just incorporating their style to your thing. And I did this one. It's ready since I don't know when. And I know that your quality will be crappy, and the fact that it's a mirror, it doesn't help a lot. But from the artist that she introduced us to, I knew one. It was HR Giga. We have that. Okay, I will add Belinda at once. So she was talking about HR Giga, and that was the artist that I was familiar with. Actually, I was very familiar with. His art is very out there. It's very sexual related, and it also has a very dark vibe to it. He's the one who designed the Alien for Alien movies, so that can speak a volume. And I did this one, and I even finished it. I just didn't make a picture. The story of my
Picture,
life.
so it never happened.
Yeah, but that whole idea about finding your inner voice, because I think that you are the only one established artist that I know that can say that, yes, I do know my inner voice, because I don't know mine. I mean, my voice today will say one thing and tomorrow completely opposite thing. It will never speak green, though.
Mine will always say pink.
Yes, and
except
pink
I
is
never
a good
work in
color.
pink. I very seldom actually work in pink. That's the funniest thing.
Yeah, so how, okay, that will be the stupidest question ever. How does it feel to have your inner voice so established? Because everything you do have that Belinda touch to it. I cannot even put my finger on it. It just like, line
Maybe
up
it's because I use a ruler, not measure with my fingers.
But it's the thing, like, you do so many different things. Your style is so versatile. You do paper crafts, mixed media, and traditional scrapbooking, double page. It's double that hard, basically. And cards. And you do everything. On the other hand,
And
I
art
know that
journals.
from every genre, if you line up the artworks, I think that I could spot yours in each lineup. I would say like, yeah, that's Belinda's work.
But
How
what
does it
makes
feel
you
to have
know that it's mine? I mean,
work?
I don't think of myself having like a style because I do so much. But then I have certain what I call recipes. It's almost like a well-known author will have a particular kind of what I call recipe, which is what makes them successful or stand out. So it could be my art training, although I mean, there's people like Merker, and Queer Red and others who've had no art training whatsoever, who have amazing instincts, creative instincts, and do incredible work. So I was trying to think before I came on what makes me me, and I follow a set of basic rules, and then of course the rules are there to be broken. So
But you know what? Amazing thing is that whatever artistic problem I have, like especially if it comes to cover up, because I mess up a lot because I'm impatient. And every time when I need to fix that, I know that if I will approach you, it doesn't matter what kind of technique I picked, if it's your genre or not, you will have some tips and tricks regarding that. You will
I
know
think
how
because
to
I've done so much, that's the thing, is that I've tried everything. There are very few things that I haven't tried. And I think, as with all things, like in this afternoon's live, when I was busy with Stamperia, something that I was doing didn't work, and I was like, oh well, we'll just
finished. By the way, it's a holiday. I finished my project. It's finished. I mean, I have to trim the spine, but it is finished. So it's a miracle.
It's a day for miracles. So
Never
yeah,
will make an album again. just saying, I will never make an album again.
never say never. So the thing is that yes, one learns the most from one's mistakes. And as you know, I play the what if game all the time. So I want to know, what if I try this? What happens if I do that? How would this work if I tried that? Then I love to learn from other people. So I will watch a whole lot of artists, everybody from Diane Reevely, Tim Holtz, completely unknown. When I say unknown people online, like not the big designers, there's so much to be learned from everybody, and then taking those things that appeal to you that those people do and putting them into your work. So like you said now, where you take somebody's style as inspiration, like a starting point, whether it's a technique, whether it's a color scheme, whether it is a particular style. Like I went through a phase of desperately trying to have more white space on my projects, and then discovered that wasn't for me.
Space. I hate white space. It's wasted space that you could put stuff in.
There was a time when there was this woman, Ingrid, I think her name was. I think she's still around, and she made the most amazing pages with beautiful, beautiful stuff, and I could spot her work a mile off. And I was so impressed by it, and I desperately tried to do it, and it just didn't sit well with me. I can't help adding more stuff.
But you know, it's like with Louise Nelson. She's Australian artist, and she do weird and quirky works. She was on Prima Crop for some time, and she had that way of making really small composition that was packed with details. It was just a white space, and white space doesn't have to be white. It just unembellished space on your page.
Yeah.
So basically you had like 30 by 30, and her composition was that tiny spot in the corner, but it was so packed with the detail that it was so impactful. I was trying to do that things so many times. And every time it feels empty. It feels like not me. That's my biggest struggle to finish the piece because I like to play what if game, but I have like whole shelf of what if, and those what ifs, I checked what if, and I know what will happen if I will do that, but then I'm stuck. I'm stuck like last week craft along. I had a plan. I wanted to recreate my own work that I know how to do. But I wanted to add something else. And I have two boxes that are almost finished. Each one of them are missing just a couple items. And I'm stuck. I have no idea what I want to put there. I think that I'm the artist that is sitting on the project for half of year, and then it's like, oh yeah, it just needs 1 second. Here it goes. Yeah, it's finished. Okay, let's make pictures.
My problem is I don't like to have projects sitting unfinished. I hate that unfinished, like unresolved thing. I didn't know that that was something that was
My
that
whole
didn't
life
sit
is
well with me.
unresolved things just sitting and waiting for it to blow up. It's the
I need
same.
to kind of close that chapter, close that project so that I can move on to something else. Every now and again, admittedly, there'll be something where, yes, I'll be like, okay, that needs something else. Next time I go to the shops or whatever, I'll look to see what there is. But I will very seldom start something if I don't have like enough stuff. I shop my stash. That is basically how I roll. So I will take out my dies, my stencils, my stamps, my papers, everything that goes with that color scheme, that goes with that particular story that I'm doing. It doesn't mean I'm going to use it all, but it allows me to then know and see everything that I have. And then from there, I will mix and match and, yeah, sometimes combine things that are
But
unexpected.
that's another thing that amazed me because I'm still finishing off my space. You know, like today I pulled some paintings because I had just the empty space here next to me. Like 4 weeks in a row, bitch. Are you kidding? How long you can finish your space? I still didn't hang up my mood board, and I'm really missing that because that is the place. By mood board, I mean the piece of the board that I can pin stuff to, and I pin all the cards that I got from my friends, all little trinkets, you know, like often I'm the junk collector, so we are going on the street and I will be like, oh, Saki, so beautiful. I need
You're
to
like a
have
magpie.
it. So everything that sparks joy is on that board, including the ribbon from you. Do you remember? You gave me uh, the whole tower for the media things, and it was with the ribbon that
Right on
says
that.
that I
Yes.
was trying to be normal, but it get boring, so I get back to being myself. And the whole ribbon takes the whole board. So I love to have that board hanging, but uh, it just didn't feel like hanging it. And I know that it sounds so stupid for 99% of you, but I just couldn't bring myself to finish that thing, to do that last step. You know, I spent like 2 weeks on cleaning my art space, and it's like 2 hours from being perfectly neat and finished, and I cannot bring myself to hang it. I have like big gaps, big holes with the
With the
screws
screws
in my wall, and it doesn't bother me because it didn't feel like doing that. And
You know,
I'm trying
it's like
to.
when I was living in South Africa and we redid the color scheme in our lounge, and it went from kind of quite a pale, boring cream to quite strong colors. And for a whole year, I didn't have paintings on my wall, and I'm an art teacher. I mean, that's what I did for 20 years in South Africa. And
Okay,
for a whole
so
year,
I
I
was
didn't
at
have
Belinda,
paintings up.
guys, I was at Belinda's flat, and I could imagine your flat without couch, without a lot of things, actually, without fridge, without so many things. But I cannot imagine your living space without art, because that's the thing that every time when I visit you, it just, you change your display all the time, and you have so much of beautiful art pieces in your place. I
Most
cannot
of those I
imagine that.
painted just before I left. So a lot of the stuff, like the orange pieces that I did eventually paint for my lounge, I had a massive blank wall and I did a triptych of modern art. And in fact, I've given that to a friend before I left because I was like, I know I'm going to a small flat and I've just painted all these new paintings on the various plein air. Plein air is where you actually stand in situ and you stick an easel up and a canvas on it and you paint what's in front of you. So I
On
had just
Facebook,
done
you
3 or
have
4 of those.
videos of you doing that.
Yeah. And I had just done a whole lot of those just before I left South Africa. So those are the pictures that I chose to put, well, in the container and to bring with. So yeah,
But
those are the ones that are up now.
I love those pieces. I love the one that when you enter your flat, you have one next to the bathroom, and the second one that I love is with the white house. It's a
The
fancy house.
Cape Dutch house. Yes,
Yeah,
it's
it's
the oldest one is
in
there.
your
Yeah.
lunch. Yeah, I love that piece. I cannot imagine your flat without that piece. Though you have so many items in your flat, and I cannot
It's
imagine
like a
your
junk
flat
store.
without those 2 pieces and without
I mean,
the picture of you.
I think that's my thing is like I love vintage. I love everything. So I think that comes across in my Lady Vagabond. Of course, I drew my mother's suitcases, and I'm also like you, a sentimental person. So I like to keep
What
things that mean
like
something to me.
me? I'm not sentimental. I just get attached to the stuff.
That's sentimental, girl.
Yeah, but you know, I get attached to the stuff that are not necessarily related to situation. Oh my God. Okay, stupid things like on my mood board, I have a flyer from London that I found somehow. I don't remember why, but it's just something that I like to have hanged up, like the tickets from the theater. Usually, I would pick the most silly movies, the stupid things that like for my mood board. I usually don't show it in full because it's full of really stupid things that you would not think that I would like to surround myself with. Because with the journey of searching, finding your inner voice, a year ago, I was sure that yeah, fuck it, I will just ditch the crafting at all. I will leave the small space for myself just to do stuff time to time. And I will find a regular job and I will be just normal person, like normal person. And then something
No.
changed. But to be fair, for a really long time, I didn't follow my own aesthetic because my aesthetic is, like skulls, skulls, that things, not necessarily things that are mainstream or appealing to the public. And being a teacher, that's a problem. I will tell you, being not
Yeah.
mainstream and trying to support yourself from that is a problem. But I found a way. I found a way of doing stuff so it will spark joy for me. It will be enjoyable for others, especially design wise, like being a paper or line designer. I I like to design different stuff. I love cute images. I love kawaii. I love anime style. I love cutesy things, but not necessarily I love using them. I like
And I
to
think
hang
that's
them.
the difference. I'm really grateful that with what I'm doing at the moment, especially Lady Vagabond, it is very me. It's very, so I'm very comfortable using it. And
That was a really, really, I don't know if it was, I don't think it was intentional, but you are so connected to your line. You know, like I look at Lady Vagabond and it has the Belinda written all over it. And
I think
you made it so
because
personal.
it's my first line, so you know it's also new and exciting. So I put a lot of me into it because also I think as an end user for so many years, I was kind of aware of how I like to work, and so I put into it what I would like to use, and
Yeah,
just
like
hoping that other people would like to use it too. So
if you don't follow Staperia, we were live today, and in the Lady Vagabond line, there was a paper that, you know, now I think it's obvious. But when you designed the paper, that was like two sides were matching. It's the book. It's this one. Shameless
yeah,
plug. It's a book paper that is matching. If you flip it, it's a mirror image, and they overall, you know, they line up perfectly. So you have a pretty from both sides. And right now, I think that it's a logic thing to do, but as the designer myself, I never come up with the logic solution like that.
I think in that case it was like I like to make mini albums. And for a lot of people, you know, making covers and things like that is kind of time consuming and frustrating. So that's why I came up with the idea to make to use my granny's book as the cover, and then yes, to have the library so that it would work both ways. It's just one of those crazy things that I thought if it could be done, because you know in the printing industry that's not the easiest thing to achieve. So yeah, but it's for me finding my voice. I think it's the fact that I really go with what feels comfortable for me.
Oh, we have
And
Alan's second time today. Sorry for disturbing you. And Nunu says that she loves that the fact that there is so much of you in your line. But
and I
you know,
think
like because we have the so you know, I really would like to have the past record option, like to record the parts of our conversations that we have between two of us, to be able to reference that in the banters like this, because you put so much of you, so much of your personal things, you know, like your grandmother's granny's book, like this book. You know, for most of the people, it's just a piece of paper. Every time when you take that paper in your hand, you think about your grandmother's thing that you have, that it's a memory, that's the keepsake. I never did put anything personal in any of my designs. Like they are mine. They are something that sparks joy, but they will tell you nothing about me. I never use my personal reference. The same thing is with making the pieces. If the piece means a lot to me, if it's personal, you will never see it. Sorry, guys. Then it's personal. Then I want to keep it for myself. And it's not like I'm shy. You can say that I'm not shy. Not with those
you're not
hair.
shy.
Come on. It's not like
Shy
I'm
isn't
shy.
in your no.
And it's not like I don't like to talk to people. I don't like them to get to know me. I just don't want me, myself, and I all over the paper line, because I do change, and I think that that's my problem. I do change a lot, and I do change quite fast. and my interests, as much as they stay in the same alley, it's always something darker, probably something disturbing. I love disturbing things. And, those things, those corners of the internet that you sit in and you are like, whoa, how the heck I did end up here. I found myself so many times in the corners like that. And I like peculiar, disturbing, and weird stuff so much. And I can find the beauty in the ugly. And since I started to like incorporate more and more of it to my stuff, they started to spark joy. And the fact that I'm doing those bleeding hearts and awful skulls and all that weird stuff doesn't change the fact that I love unicorn rainbow and holographic glitter, and I can't pass by something that is holographic. And you can ask Belinda that I can find a unicorn. Put me in the store, give me 10 minutes, I will find a unicorn.
He has like unicorn, I don't know, like a unicorn magnet or a unicorn like GPS.
And I just think that looking at my works, you would think that I love unicorns and rainbows and holographic glitter, but I do. And I try to embrace every genre, every part of me, but somehow, that's the conflict. They don't go together. The dark skulls and evil demons, they don't go with unicorns.
You with Finneba as one of her brand ambassadors, and I mean, look at all those exciting things that she just came out with. It's like she had your name all over it with the bird skulls and the bat wings, and so there are a lot of people that do like that kind of stuff. I mean, people haven't been able to keep that on the shelf. It's been so popular. So you're not alone.
But on one hand, it's hard to, because I was so scared because I became, okay, I will be super honest. I become a Patreon because I was a YouTube supporter for a really long time, since the start of pandemic, since that option was available. For the first time when she made the channel support available, I was like, yeah, I'm up for that. I do want to support that because it's something that sparks joy, because those products were the first ones that I discovered when I felt uninspired and when I felt like, oh my God, I did see everything. I know absolutely everything, because guys, just ask me the question about the production of acrylic mediums, for example, and I know the answer. I have no idea what I will do with that knowledge because it's completely useless, to be fair. But I know each step. I know how you get those products, how they were developed, how the artists way before we have the options that we have now, how they were managing with getting the hold of those colors, how they were traveling all around the world just to take a sample of the piece of rock to make the paint from it. Can you imagine that now you go to the store, you pay like €3 and you have tube of paint, and like 200 years ago you had to go for the whole voyage to get a blue pigment.
It was quite a thing. And the pigments weren't even stable back then. Yeah.
So it was so hard back then, but they did manage, and we still use those techniques in the new way, but we still go back and we take that knowledge and we just process it through current possibilities. But it's still like a lot of pigments, the best watercolors are still natural pigment based. That means that there is still somebody who's going over there and scrubbing
Someone
that
in
wall.
Australia is still digging for yellow ochre.
Yeah, exactly. I think that they will have a new hole in Australia quite soon because you make yellow ochre so popular that they will have to dig the new hole for that. So, they are still, those techniques are still used. And I found it so interesting. The whole journey about the product development that end up with me establishing my position like, no, I don't want to develop the products. The knowledge about how they develop is enough. I don't want to develop anything. I just want to have fun. I just want to play. Exactly. I just want to play with different stuff. It's cool that I know how they make. But I didn't need to have my own. I'm so super happy that I can be a cheerleader for someone, like I said, when you came up with the Lady Vagabond, I was feeling like going on the street to random strangers. That's my friend. That's my friend. I know her. She has her life.
Yeah, it's
And
one of those crazy things.
since then, I designed so many things that you would not say that I could make. I had so much fun of playing with different concepts in my computer and handing it to somebody else to play with in the real life. Because in the real life, I don't want to play with that. I love to play on the computer to see if I can and what would happen if Olga would love bunnies. But she loves bunnies, but just on the screen, not necessarily on the paper.
On that
to
piece of
you.
paper, yeah.
Because I can work with them, but it's not the thing that I would choose. Wait, because we have some comments. I think it helps people to try new things as well. I don't think skulls and bones would be something that I would know how to use. And to my delight, I love them. Oh my God, that's awesome! Dark Sisters, dark vibe. But that was my biggest fear because I become a Patreon because everyone will. It started with Dante Sings Iveta. If you don't know her, check her out on Instagram or YouTube. And she was like, "Oh my God, I can't tell you because she's Finneba design team. I'm ambassador, so we have the different info." And even when we talk as friends, you have some things that you have to keep secret, and something about keeping a secret. So
I'm good at that.
Yeah, when you are either in DT or you are developing something, there is a lot of things that you have to keep to yourself, and there is not a lot of people that you can ask, "Hey, what do you think about that?" You have to highly relate on the fact that you will know what people might like
Instinct.
to use. It because it would be easy just to put the designs up there and be like, "Hey guys, I have a poll for you. Do you think that number 1 or number 2 is better?" And then just like, "Ha, okay, number 2." So that will be the B-side for my paper. But when you are developing those things, usually they take so much time that the most of the things are kept a secret. So first, Iveta was like, "Oh my God, you will gag on the new release." And I was like, "Oh, tell me." And she was like, "I can't." And then Luneka was like, "Have you seen the new release?" And I was like, "No." "Are you not a Patreon?" And I was like, "No, tell me." And she was like, "I can't. It's a Patreon. Come on." And that's when I became a Patreon. I couldn't wait 1 week to see those things because I got like multiple messages. "Oh my God, have you seen that? You will love that." And I so wanted to see that. So I become a Patreon. I catch up with all the previous stuff. And then
My FOMO
arrive
friend.
on the video of release. And when she showed those molds, I was like, oh my God, I love it. I love this, every single one. I made the promise to myself, I'm purchasing them all. You know, just like that. I will buy them. Oh, I need to have them all because every single one is so amazing. And I was so scared that people will not be so enthusiastic as I am because it's not a mainstream theme to release with very mainstream brand. So I was scared that it will be one time and done. Like, people didn't like your scores, so let's let's take it back a notch. And I really love Anna's style, and I really love, similar things, similar taste, similar vibes. We like similar artists, so I can't wait to see what she will come up with, because I'm pretty sure that I would like to work with it. And when I'm coming up with the ideas, they're so cool when I'm assembling them. They're so cool when I'm the first one to work with them. But then I'm like, everyone else has so much better approach to my designs than I. So let's play with someone else stuff, because now I already stare at those stuff for so long. So every time, because you're posting basically daily on multiple platforms with your line, and you still don't have enough. How do you do that? Tell us the secret, because if I would work with, and I really like all of my designs, but if I would have to work with them every day for more than a week, I would be just like, no, no, no more. No,
I think
I can't.
I think because I put so much stuff in it that I really like, that helps. And when I was designing it, like when I designed the houses, for example, I designed them to fit the spines of the Stamperia books, the book boxes that they have. So I designed a lot of things with end concepts in mind. And so for me, it's been fun to actually put those concepts, ideas, thoughts, processes into reality. So when I'm designing, there's a lot of things where I would like things to work together, where I would be like, if I could have this, I would want it to work with that. And if I could have that, I would want it to work with this. So that's, I think, why I don't get tired of working with my line. Also because a lot of other lines that Stamperia come out with suit my line. So I can combine them. Like Christina Radovan's line at the moment is the Amazonia. So I put Lady Vagabond in Amazon. Then I had,
because she's a vagabonder. She has her suitcase and she's ready to travel.
she can
By
go
the way,
anywhere. Then
I'm
she's
not
also vintage. So I
Amazonia
really like the calligraphy line. I'm somebody, I started doing
the thing
calligraphy
that you
in
did, like Lady Vagabond, painting on this artsy line.
taking Sarah's line and making it. So that's what I like to do. So I will look at what I've got and I will be like, how can I make Lady Vagabond work with Sarah's art line? How can I make her work with, in fact, it's behind me here. I've got her working with the calligraphy line.
Oh my gosh,
So,
she changed the spyglass for the pen. It's so
yes.
cool.
And then I've got a piece of acetate here in the background. You can see it reflecting. So I can actually write on this with a whiteboard marker and then rub it
like
out.
the eraser thing. Like,
And there's my book again. I should have shown this today. I put the book inside the shadow box.
why you
So
didn't show it today? Today it was all about books. And it's like your mind, because my mind is producing 10,000 things at the second, but nobody will be interested in half of them because half of them are random, like completely random. Like, what will happen if we will crisscross the lemon and the frog? Will be the lemon frog or frog lemon? You know, we'll never
it'll be a
know.
very tasty frog if you were French.
The frogs are not tasty. They taste like chicken. I had to figure it. I had to check it out when I was in France. I checked the frogs and I checked the snails.
You're
They
braver than
both
me. I
taste
couldn't
like
do that.
freaking chicken. I had no idea. And the snails are really tasty, but they are disgusting to dig out. So no, not with
No.
those hair. With those hair, I cannot be bothered. But
So the thing is, I think that's
so bad.
my mind is a bit like yours. I'm often like trying to work out how to combine stuff and how to make things work together and how to push those boundaries, because I think I learned a long time ago that one mustn't be happy with like your base layer. It's what makes mixed media such fun to do. A lot of people start with like the texture paste through a stencil and things like that, and then they kind of stop, or they put just a few things around. And with what we do, especially with the mixed media, is what makes something really interesting to look at and keeps the person's eye busy is to build on those layers. So that for me is something that I enjoy putting together, is looking at everything again, shopping my stash, looking at all the things I've got, from the molds to the stencils to the color schemes to the papers to whatever I have in my line. In sometimes it's just in my line of sight. So
but the amazing thing is that you know where you have those things. Because if I don't look at the thing that I have, like somebody will not put it like here, I don't remember that I have it.
that's because I've got a picture memory. Everybody works differently. So I remember visual images. I don't remember. I think in pictures. I remember things in pictures. I remember how I put them, where I put them together. So the problem, my biggest problem is when I tidy up or I move something, because I will remember where I first put it, because I will remember that decision. And then I'll be like, oh, look, I've got some new molds. I need more space. I'll take something out of somewhere else, which has always been there, and put it in another box. And then my brain like still remembers where it first was. And then when I'm looking for it, I'm like, it was here. Okay, then I put these here. When was I doing that? Maybe what?
I need a correlation, like stuff. If you look at my organized system right now, I still didn't share it because it's still not perfect.
It'll never be perfect, girl. It'll never be perfect, because you'll always be working on it.
But I'm still changing stuff to work better. And when I will be sure that I have the space that I can utilize fully, then I will share it, because I still change the placement. It's like, okay,
I'm still doing the places here, and then
I'm moving stuff farther and farther from myself. Less and less I use them, but they have a correlation with each other. That means that if I cannot find the item, it's because I cannot retract my coloration. Like things are related. Maybe not for everyone, but for me, like skulls and bones will be in the one section with the Halloween stuff that will have also spiders and bugs and all the nasty stuff. And next to that will be my fake blood for Halloween makeup and Halloween makeup stuff. And further we will move from my actual workspace, more abstract, those connection between objects become. And most of them should be intuitive. Like I love my setup with the paints, because I have, okay, guys, wait. So my paints right now, they are over there on the nail polish shelf. I have all the paints that I use the most. The products that I love to have. It turns that some of them I loved so much that I have doubles or triples of. But that thing aside, I have them on my side. So every time when I'm doing something and I need the brown, I'm reaching into brown section. And they are really nice 50 shades of brown rainbow right now with some pops of blue and pink. That surprised me because apparently I love brown. Like all shades of brown are my favorites because I have brown in each product that I own.
Could be something to
I
do
have
with
brown.
vintage. Yep.
Yeah,
I can
it
relate.
might be. It might be that, you know, brown I will always use up. Even if
And
it's
rust.
a cheap product, I will use up the brown because you always need the brown in the background. So that might be this case. But all the having the colors in front of me works so well because I start to reach for the ones that I would not reach for. You know, like lately I was on the weird adventure with green and I didn't hate it at all.
Did you say you've been working with green?
Oh, you
What
meant
did you
that
do with
because
my
it was
friend?
polished? It
Can
was
you let us know,
polished nicely.
please?
I made a green lampshade that is in my kitchen right now. It's a green lampshade with the green leaves, and I used green, like on purpose. Kind
Now,
of
Michelle
preparing
says,
myself for
Olga,
the
50 Shades of
challenge.
Brown. Yes. Like Tim Holtz.
I'm-
Tim's first 6 colors with Ranger with 6 different shades of brown.
I'm pretty sure that David will come up with a really cool challenge for me for next month, and it will include green. I'm so freaking sure that it will be green. It doesn't matter what he will throw at me. It will be freaking green.
Penny's so
I'm
proud
trying
of
to
you.
train myself to not puke when I'm reaching for the green product because it will look really weird on the camera when I will put a barf on my work. But it does. Okay, my family is behaving really weird today. They are dancing over there. I would flip the camera if I would not have such a mess in that corner of the room.
Oh dear, David says you don't even have an idea. You can't
Yeah,
even
I
imagine
don't have
his
idea, but you know, okay, we'll talk about it next week when we will be after the Friday with David, because I don't want to make it too easy for him.
We'll all have our tiaras ready to wear behind the scenes for David.
Oh my God. I'm willing to buy like full tiara. I can wear a crown. I could handle the crown with those hair. Come on. But yeah, you know, I'm trying to make everything I do somehow important for me. It doesn't have to be very pretty. It doesn't have to be appealing for others. It has to spark joy. And unfortunately, everything that sparks joy, it's quite nasty and weird and underrated. I still think that, of course, there is a huge market for the gothic theme and for the macabre, and people are loving black, even if they are not that black souled as I am, because I am. I am really, really disturbingly black inside. But I'm trying to do the best, and that's the pressure that I put on myself every time when I start to randomly craft, like, oh, let's do something with my hands because I have to distract my mind from being like, I can't even. Then when I feel like I can't even think about something, I need to do something with my hands. And usually it will be something related to my personal style preference. So it might be sitting here for 3 hours and making a perfect metal school pattern that is not made from metal, but you would think that it's silver. And I spent way more time on that project than I should, but it was so much
But
fun.
it made you happy. It was good. What's wrong with that?
And it makes me happy, and it sparks my creativity because it turns off my brain. I love that when I do create and when I do enjoy myself, I can turn off my brain. And it doesn't ask me the question about lemon frogs at that particular moment.
But I think that's the thing. I think so many people are trying to create something that is Instagram worthy. I've said that before, instead of just creating for themselves. So,
But if I'm not happy with something, I will just not put it on my Instagram. You know, there is a whole, because now we are facing each other, but I'm facing the Kallax wall, like the one behind you. I'm facing that. And there are two baskets of the projects that probably nobody ever saw and nobody will ever see, because it was just like, what if? And that what if,
but I think
that
that's
was
what everybody thinks. Everybody thinks that everything that us designers do, it's like we have the Midas touch. It's all perfect. No, it's not. It's not all perfect. So,
how many, okay, be honest, how many projects you, it was like struggle free? Because from the top of my head, I can name like 3 projects that I made and there was no struggle. I started with the concept, I executed the concept, everything went smooth, and I didn't stumble on any bigger obstacles, and they came out just like in my head. And I can name in my whole like over 10-year adventure. Oh my God, it's 15. It's more than 10.
she's getting old, people. She's getting old. She's catching up with
What?
me.
No, you that. Erase that. Go back.
I heard it. They heard it.
Okay, so in general, in whole my career, I can name like 3 projects that were like effortless. One was made like 10 or more years ago. It was displayed on Prima booth. It was the girl with the headpiece and the goggles on. That was the first thing that I did, just exactly like I had it in my head. The second one was my Angelica. That was also a class project. I did the angel, and she just popped out of my head onto canvas. It looked nice. It looked fine. It was perfect. And the third one was the mannequin for Stamperia Vernissage that I struggled only with the vintage paste, that I didn't prime my surface well. So I had to go step back. But you did help me, so I didn't need the paint over. You did help me to take that step back, because I wasn't aware that I should like research the product before I will use it for the very first time. But those are 3 projects that just happened. I mean, the mannequin, it took a long time, but I knew from the beginning to the end where we are going for, what I want and how I want it and how to
I
execute.
don't know that I always know where I want to end, or I don't know that when I start, I have such a clear vision in my head of what I want the end project to be. It's hard to explain. I often, I mean, I say that. I know I used to drive my art teacher mad because we would have to, for school art, you'd have to hand in prelims. Thankfully, you didn't have to hand them in before you'd done your final. You handed them in all together, because I would know exactly when we were given our brief, I would know exactly what I wanted to do. I would do it, and then because they get marked, I would have to do the flipping prelims after the fact. So yes, I do have, like, when I say I have an idea, I have a concept, I have a theory, I have a bunch of ideas that I think will
But
work.
you also have the knowledge.
That helps.
I think, first of all,
Comes with being
Penny,
old.
are you talking about Nikki, disorganized crafter? Because it seems like you are talking about Nikki, disorganized crafters. No name calling, but I just wanted to mention that. But the thing that I'm really sure of is my product knowledge. All the products that are in front of me, because I have the separate drawer for the ones that we just get to know each other. But those that are in front of me, I know them. I know what they do, what they don't do, what I can do with them, what I cannot do with them. Even if I
That's
don't
important.
on my lashes.
That's really important, because when you reach for something, you need to know the results you're going to get.
Yes, so that is very important part, that you have incredible knowledge about products, about colors. And okay, I know that the color wheel is so over talked and everyone always talks about the color wheel, but it's still like the way that you describe it, it's the live stream from 2 years ago or something like that. Oh my god, 2 years. No, it is from yesterday.
Yeah, from last week.
Yeah. So when you describe the colors on your way, it was still, though I know the color theory, I still found it interesting. Your approach, your schooled artist approach with the crafter input on it, because that's important, that you have that knowledge. What is the color theory and what it can do for you, and then you twist it for the turquoise and brown palette of yours and what will work and what will not. And though I'm not a fine artist, and I if you will ask me to draw something, you will get the person that have the circle as the head, and the rest will be just a bunch of sticks, not even holding the proportions. Though when I followed your art classes, like paint along with me, it took me some time. I had to pause, I have to go back, I have to see it again. But I was so happy with my results, and I never got it. Even from painting with numbers, I never got it like, oh my god, I'm so happy with myself, and I'm so happy with my pieces that I still keep them, displayed around the house. And when I was starting the lesson, every time I was like, nah, mine will look like shit. And except the mountains that look like pyramids, I have no idea why. But
Might just be a little pointy.
Yeah, they were just up to the point. I just can't break that thing. Like when you took your brush and you were doing like, I don't, yeah, that's great. I'm so good.
Practice.
But still, I from 4 from those from certain amount of paintings, if you look at them, you can say what I wanted to capture. That is a lot of for me. And I was like, oh my god, when you did it, like the schooled artist in the crafty way, it was so easy for me to get. And I couldn't get it from the actual classes for artists when they tell you to take that particular color and to do the particular technique, because I knew all the techniques, but only in theory. And seeing them in practice and doing it on my own, it was so much fun. Will I ever be a painter? No. Will I ever?
But you did it.
enter the class again? Yes, for sure.
I think the thing is, it's a bit like I struggled with maths at school. I still struggle with numbers, to be honest.
Who didn't struggle with math at school? Except Karen Oppet. Karen, you are not allowed to speak right now. She's a math teacher.
I know. So the thing is that sometimes things need to be broken down into a way that is simple to understand. So I took all my knowledge and kind of simplified it so that I could put it across in a way that hopefully people find useful and will remember. Because one doesn't need, like, all this product knowledge about what goes into gesso and acrylic paints and waxes, for example.
It's my safety blanket, because if
But the
I
thing
screw
is-
up, the gesso will save me.
So the thing is that it's all very well, you know this knowledge, but it isn't, you don't need to impart all the nitty gritty down to everybody. They just need to know that, yes, gesso will cover everything. So if you make a mistake, there's always black or white gesso. Hello, Sam. So,
Oh my God, I can't believe that. Sam is watching us on YouTube, not on Facebook. It's a miracle. I'm pretty sure that the unicorn got his horn and wings and extra dust. And
extra
oh my
glitter.
God.
Definitely, it's an extra glitter day. You cannot do it in English. Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah, I hope that one day I will learn how to take everything that I have in my head, all my knowledge, and make it so accessible like you make it. Because it's really a struggle for me to take that knowledge that I have and not to applaud people like, oh my God, and you have that book and you can make it dimensional and you can have this and that and this and oh, and we have that option. And how about this option? How to make it easy start for people to develop themselves. Yeah, so I hope that one day that skill will just rub on me.
I'll rub it
Honestly.
off onto you. There you go. Rubbing it off, rubbing it off, rubbing it off.
Okay, we are over 1 hour. Thank you, Bella, for joining me. And thank you, everyone on the chat. I will go back and read all your comments, or at least half of it. And then, yes, hopefully see you next week. And I really have to.
It was nice to see you
have
twice in one day.
run right now. But yeah, see you next week. It was fun. And yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye.